Welcome back to No Gears, No Glory. Today's episode, we're going to be working a little bit on some just general automotive maintenance. We're going to be cleaning up the headlights on Project Code Blue. They're not that bad, however, we can make them look better. The idea is to take them from looking like this to looking like this. When you have a used car or a car you've owned for a while, you want to keep it looking good and fresh. The idea is to do a little bit of maintenance to it periodically so that it never gets to the point where you no longer like looking at it. It's no longer attractive or appealing to you. And little things like what we're going to do today will allow you to stay intrigued with your vehicle, attracted to it, and with headlights, in this particular case, headlights are the eyes of the car. And it's amazing what clean, clear lenses on your headlight will do for the look of your car. So stick with us for a couple of minutes and let's get started. Now on these headlights, you can see they're not too foggy, they're not bad, but they're getting there. They're starting to get foggy, particularly here in the corners, a little bit on the side, a little hazy in the front. This one on the left side, or sorry, right side, is definitely more hazy than the left. Again, particularly here in the corners and on the sides. The front isn't too bad. One of the things that we want to do is show you that we don't want to wait till it gets so bad that you have to do this. This is something you can do that's simple and quick and will keep your headlights looking good through their life, and also works in case they get really bad. Okay, so let's start with putting some protective tape around the edges so that again we don't burn the paint or buff through the paint. And we'll start with that. Here we go. Now, I'm not particularly worried about the paint on this car. Again, it's a project, and it's quite damaged. Now, this is how you would want to do it on a car that you do care about. You definitely don't want to buff the lens and get the paint and burn through the paint and ruin your paint job. We're going to be using the Meguiar's compound again. Again, this is an abrasive that allows you to kind of work through the haze that is created on the headlight from the sun and exposure. We're using an orbital polisher in order to work that around. Much like when you're polishing your car, you're going to just put a couple of small dabs on here. You don't want to have too much, especially on a small area like a headlight. Now this area of the headlight was one of the worst areas, so we want to focus a little bit more on that. You'll also notice you can't quite get the buffer to go inside this corner. So what I'll end up doing is just taking the buffer pad off and then wiping it down by hand and trying to clean it up that way. Get a clean rag and wipe it off. Not sure how well you can be seeing that right now, but that's a vast improvement. Now you can see there's a few hazy spots. You may not be able to see it real well right here. And there's still a couple of, like this is a probably a burned in spot from something hitting the, probably a bug that landed on the headlight and just stayed there for a long time. But so much clearer, so much cleaner on this lens. Much better. And that's round one. We're gonna go another round, see if we can't get deeper through here and just clean up the lens a little bit more. All right, here we go. Now when you're using your hand to do these detail work, pay attention to the areas that you had that were a little bit hazier to begin with, and that way you can actually specifically focus on that spot without overdoing everywhere else. And there it is, the finished product. A couple of minutes, This hasn't even been 5 to 10 minutes maybe, and you have a crystal clear headlight. And again, this headlight wasn't bad, but it's starting to get hazy. And if you catch it early, you're more likely to keep the car looking new, looking fresh, and it's amazing how big of a difference that the eyes of the car can have on the look and how good you feel about your car. And now for good measure, we'll go ahead and do the other side, but we'll do that in time lapse. Here we go. There you have it. It's that easy. About 15 minutes and you can have your headlights cleaned up and looking good. Again, the idea is not to let them get so bad that they look terrible, but to keep them in good condition. A couple of things. One, to look at the car, it's attractive, it's appealing, and it keeps the car looking fresh. Two, it keeps your headlights working really well. The projection of the headlights are going to be much better, much clearer, and you'll probably notice a difference even on these headlights driving down the road at night. Well, that's going to wrap this one up here at No Gears, No Glory. I appreciate you viewing this video. If you like what you see here today, why don't you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you get notifications when new videos are coming out. And gently massage that like button as well. We'll see you here next time at No Gears, No Glory. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.